Okay, we're recording on this beautiful hot July day, and we're going to review the Kamlan 50mm f1.1 Mark II lens. Now, the images that I'm going to be cutting to were taken last fall on a very nice crisp fall day, and the reason I did that is because I didn't want humidity to affect the resolution. When shooting at f1.1, you don't have a lot of depth of field, and most lenses are, relatively soft, wide open, so you don't want to start introducing other issues. Now, there are going to be cars going back and forth, so I'm going to have to do some jump cuts. So I'll be quick. All right. So the lens, first of all, it's all metal. I think there are 11 or 12 blades in there. I'm not sure. Not a big deal. f1.1 clickless, which is great for video. And you can also roll your depth of field, your focus, in other words, without having to worry about clicks. And it comes with a metal hood, which is protective, but also impractical because you can't really roll your focus and do anything with it while it's on there. You have to take it off to use it. And we're going to go to the first shot in one moment after this car goes by. So let's just have a musical interlude. Oh, there you go. So the first image was taken at f1.1, 8000 ISO, 8000 shutter speed, 50 ISO, center focus. All right, f1.1, and you see, this is pretty impressive to have something that sharp across the field of view at f1.1. And the reason I shot this barn far away is because, first of all, there's a lot of variation in the texture of the barn and also in the texture of the field. But as you go towards the front of the frame, towards the bottom, you can see there's a drop off in because of your depth of field. But there's enough towards the back, left and right of the barn, so you can check the image from left to right side for resolution without having foreground and background issues bring up a problem because of the depth of field. On the second image here, it's the same shot with a crop of the left side to show you what the edges are like and what the left side is like. Third shot is a corner focus, center frame, and what I mean is I centered on the frame, but I focused using the edge of the frame because sometimes a lens focuses differently in the center than it does on the edge, all right? And you see it's quite good. And then next image here is the corner crop, same image, which now brings the center part of the barn. It shows you the left side, but again, that's because I focused on the left side originally. Next one is edge focus on the right side, 8000 shutter speed. And then the next image here, number 6, is the edge, again, crop focus. So it's opposite of the left side focus. This is the right side focus. So both sides are nice and sharp, which means that the lens is equally sharp, uniform across the frame, and that's kind of important. Number 7 is center frame f5.6. I wanted to stop it down a bit to see if there's any noticeable sharpness improvement, and there is a little bit. And then 8 is a crop of the left side. And then the next image is f5.6 edge focus, and actually was a 1000 shutter speed because it was a little brighter. Pause for car. And the next one image here is of the crop of the edge of the frame, so it brings the barn to the center, but it's the actual edge of the frame. Now we're going to go to some foliage, and we see the next image here at f1.1 taken with 1000 shutter speed at ISO 50. So I'm just trying to focus on the center little husk of plant there, and it's quite good at f1.1 considering the depth of field is incredibly shallow. So again, the next frame of 12, is the same framing as frame 11, which is at f1.1, but if frame 12 is a crop, okay, it's a crop of that image at 11. And 13 is pretty well the same framing at f5.6, so you can see how the depth of field increases quite a bit, but the center is still quite sharp. And then 14 is a crop of the center, and you can see the detail in that central image car. The next two images are images of a piece of bark, and the first image was taken at f1.1, 400 shutter speed, 50 ISO. And the next one was f3.0, 1/25th of a second, 50 ISO. And you see the increase in depth of field. And even at f1.1, the point of focus is quite good. Now, the next two images are images of a silo next to my place. And it's one of my favorite subjects for testing lenses because there's so many variations in your focal points. So frame 17, f1.1, 6400 shutter speed, 50 ISO, and you see left to right, the frame is actually quite sharp. And number 18 is f5.6, and you can see the increase in depth of field. You can also see an increase in resolution. But again, even f1.1 is quite good. The next 4 images are images of a piece of ice in a stream. The first one is actually taken at f1.1 at a 500th of a second shutter speed. The second image here is a crop of the first one. The third one was taken at f5.0, and the fourth is a crop of that one. Now what I did here is I'm trying to show you the difference in chromatic aberration when you're focusing on something that's very bright and reflective, like something that's white at f1.1. And even at f5.0, you will see a little bit of red-green shift depending on where your focus point is. So if you're photographing anything with highlights, you might want to keep that in mind. That's not abnormal to have that, but I just thought I'd show you. And here you see a little bit of magenta or a little bit of green. The next 2 images are of a silo bin. The first one was taken at f5.6, and the second one is a crop of that, and it's quite sharp. With the next 3 images, what I want to show you is how you can roll your focus point from foreground to background at f1.1 and really change the texture of your image. What I did here is I focused this walkway, and the boards are 6-inch boards, okay, so it gives you an idea of how deep it is. It's roughly 24 feet deep. At f1.1, I focused at the very front board, and then I focused on the very rearmost board before I got to the grass, and then I focused on the middle boards, and you can see how the band of focused image kind of moves forward and backwards. You can use that shallow depth of field to really change the point of focus when you're shooting video. You can have a lot of fun with it. So I hope this has been useful. The reason I did this is because I had shot with a Canon, I believe it was a 58mm f1.2, and also with a Minolta, I believe again it was 58mm 1.2. Maybe the Canon was a 55 to 1.2, I'm not sure, but they were the older lenses, film lenses. And I have to say that I really did not get any images wide open from either one of those lenses that I really liked. They were both, I thought, quite soft. And worse, is they seem to have some blooming around them. So anything shot with highlights was almost unusable. They sat on my shelf and they really didn't get much usage. So I thought I'd try this one out. So pick up. So I can't say that I got any useful images out of the Canon or the Minolta 1.2 to the point where I stopped looking for older legacy lenses with a 1.2 f-stop because I was just getting really disappointed, and they were like $500 or $600, which is insane. So this one cost me about 140 Canadian, I think, secondhand. So I have to say that in terms of value, it is much better than any of the legacy film lenses I've used with wide f-stops like f1.2. Now you can shoot an f1.4 lens, you can get one for $100, $150, that's fine, but I wanted something with a little more depth of field, or a little less depth of field, sorry. So in terms of value, I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with the resolution. I'm very happy with the resolution right across the frame, even at f1.1. I'm surprised that it's actually that good. And the edges are surprisingly good. And there's none of that crappy blooming stuff that you get with the other ones. It is one of my favorite lenses. It's also one of my least used lenses because how often do you need a 50mm f1.1 lens? And that's on my full frame Sony. If I'm putting it on my 6000, which is what I'm shooting this with, then it's the 75mm, which again makes it even less usable as a walk-around lens. And you're always trying to focus. And when you're on vacation, you don't have time to always focus. So for that, I use my various Sony or other Sony mount autofocus lenses. But when I want to take an image with incredibly shallow depth of field, and I want an image with a nice clean edge that isn't marred with that blooming stuff or with just a crappy resolution, I have to say this is quite good. I was going to try testing out another brand of 35 f1.1 that I was reading about, but to be honest, when I read the reviews and when I saw the pictures in the reviews, I can't see anything that would have motivated me to even buy the lens, or even for $100. So, Kamlan 50mm f1.1 version 2, not the version 1, the version 2 lens. Very nice. Hope you try it out. Take care.